Oklahoma State's offense, what jumps out at you first?
Explosive plays. I think they pushed the ball down the field really well with their in their pass game. Probably take a few more shots than most teams in the country, and they've got the guys that can go up and get it, and they've got a quarterback that extends plays, which is a dimension that when he's not there, it changes the game considerably. As evidence. Over the past couple of years, there've been a couple of games where they haven't had him, and you can see the production go down just because he's such a special player. So, explosive plays are certainly the first thing that comes to my mind.
I know last week you said you weren't a big stats guy, but looking at stop rate, you guys are around like 53rd-ish in the country, getting off the field 66% of your times. Is that about where you want to be, or what's a realistic expectation?
No, of course not. No, it was probably one of the biggest source of stress last week was that, which we just didn't do a very good job. There's been games where we've done a really good job, and we just need to get off the field and give our offense more opportunities. We're not. It helps us too. It helps us stay fresh, and it helps us, when we're not having to play 85 plays, and that's. I don't blame anybody for that but ourselves, not being able to get off the field on third down.
You guys talk a lot about third down, but how important is first down in terms of getting off the field?
It's funny because we've been doing a better job of that this year. We've been doing a better job on third down too up until last week, but we've been doing a better job of that this year of putting ourselves in third and manageable stuff because we're doing a more disruptive job, maybe more sound job, whatever, on base downs, first down. But we're just not. So every down's important. It all matters. But we're trying to set ourselves up so that we're not in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 all the time, and we can tee off a little bit more in those long yardage situations.
Say for one play, do you feel like you held Johnson in check pretty well on TCU?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate on the one too, because it was kind of a fate thing there that injury situation that. I thought I never worry about Julius Brents in those situations against anybody. He's as good as they come in the country, and Julius was doing a good job with him. And for that matter, when we matched him up with other people did a good job with him too. And Josh Hayes had a couple of trips with him in the slot, and Echo Boydo had a couple with him throughout the game. Jacob Parrish even had a couple, I thought those guys were up to the challenge.
You mentioned two of them there are Josh and Julius on track to play this week.
Yeah, Julius has practiced. Josh has practiced. Those guys will play this week.
How about Daniel? Do you know anything about him yet?
He's going to be a game time decision. He's moving around some and getting some work. How much he's able to go is going to be a question.
How much did you have to adjust last week without him in there at linebacker?
I was. It's kind of been the deal, is just the revolving door of people. I have total faith and confidence in Nick Allen to get the job done. Nick's gotten a significant amount of reps over the past couple of years. He's in the Oklahoma State game last year. He played 3/4 of the game because Daniel got ejected for targeting the first half. People remember that. I never worry about Nick. I think he's a warrior. I think he totally understands what we're doing. Very strong and. Can get the job done physically in there, can run the show mentally. So we didn't adjust anything based on that, but certainly like having him in there.
Speaking of targeting, do you have to divvy up practice reps a little bit to plan for Khalid not being?
Yeah, that's always been dealt with this a few times in the career. Not often, fortunately, knock on wood, but that's a really weird deal. Yeah, because you want to get the guys that are going to be playing in his stead, more than normal. We do a pretty good job, I think, though, of equally balancing our reps with our ones and our twos. So when those guys' numbers are called, they're not, and have been sitting on the shelf for months. I mean, they're getting the same amount of practice reps as the quote unquote starters.
That being said, in the second half, does Khalid's rep share maybe change a little bit compared to what it normally would?
Depends on what type of a game it is. It could, and there's certainly things that you do with Khalid that you may not do with anybody else. Not a knock on anybody else. It's just Khalid's skill set is so special in certain areas, and so. That's that we'll see how the flow of the game goes. Those are all questions that answer on Saturday.
Besides Nick Allen, is anyone else's snaps going to change drastically without Daniel Green?
I think Jake Clifton will see some more time. I think Gavin Forshea will see some more time. Both those guys have been in games a little bit. Gavin played a decent amount last week, especially in the second half. I think those guys reps will increase, and I think you'll Austin Moore will obviously he's been rolling, but he may have to go the distance.
When you look at the explosive plays, like you mentioned, to my knowledge and recollection, 2 explosive plays for touchdowns, that had been TCU's kind of thing. Do you feel like you did a good enough job limiting those explosive plays?
Obviously the answer is always going to be no unless you don't have any. But the first one was a technique error really, and just didn't. It wasn't even the design of the play for it to happen the way it happened, and it just quarterback did a nice job extending the play. They're a really fast kid and didn't play it very well, and it happened, and unfortunately it happened right out of the gate. And then the Julius Brents one is kind of a the act of God, I guess, on that one. But and then the other one that jumps out in my mind was in a 3rd and 17, and they threw a slip screen that I don't know if I would have changed the call any from what we did. We just didn't make play, and sometimes that's going to happen too. But guys just keep playing hard and keep swinging, and good things will happen.
And how nice is it to come back home? You guys haven't had a home game.
Yeah, we've been here for a long time. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think that I give credit to TCU. I thought the crowd was awesome. It was electric. It was it made a difference in that if they're down 28-10 and they're at our place and our crowd's getting on it like they were, I don't know if they have the fight to come back. But being at home and then scoring before the end of the half and kind of carrying that momentum with them just kind of kept them alive, I think. And things could have definitely been different had the environment been different.
Let me throw one more play at you. C-gap run by Miller that went for, I think, 48. Been about pinpoint.
I forgot about that one.
Pinpoint the
Thanks.
breakdowns there.
That again, we probably should have been I'm not saying anything about players. Obviously, I could have put us in a different situation there too. But if you look at that thing on tape, we probably had that thing knocked dead in the backfield. And then we talk a lot about our tackling angles and our tackling pursuit. And on that particular play, even if we missed that where we did, probably should have been knocked down for about 10, and it wasn't. And that's the play that got that whole drive started before the half. And things like that happen, and that's football sometimes. But I still trust our guys to make those plays.
So what's the defense doing best right now?
I think that we're playing absolutely incredibly hard. I think we're still improving in our execution, but I think we get ourselves out of a lot of jams just because our guys play so dang hard across the board, and I'm so proud of those guys for that. And there's a handful of guys that are playing just incredible amount of snaps, and they're just taking it and they're going. And we battled through a lot of injuries. We battled through a lot of things, and you wouldn't know. Our guys just take it and keep grin and go.
In general, what makes Oklahoma State such a hard team to defend?
I think it starts with Spencer Sanders, and his ability to run and his ability to see the field really well. I mean, the guy's been playing forever, and he was a problem in 2019 when we first got here. The design things that they have for him, and then the things that he does, off the cuff, so to speak, with his scrambles and those things, extending plays, and then the fact that they're not afraid to take chances. I mean, sometimes guys get conservative, and these guys will push the ball down the field considerably, and they're not afraid to put themselves in 2nd and 10 just because or 3rd and 10 because they didn't know the quarterback can bail them out.
Just discussing your linebacker issues, is this an offense where you look at going some 60 back against?
I think so. We tried to do that a little bit last week, and it just didn't. We did some. The situations weren't always right for it, but we try to match personnel as much as we can. So if they have tight ends in the game, we generally have bigger people in the game, and that's not always true, but that's sometimes the way we like to play it. And if they have a bunch of receivers in the game, we're going to have a bunch of little guys in the game. And again, that's not always true, but that's sometimes how we try to think about things.
Bill Palmer was one of the linebackers that kind of got forced into duty last week. How did you evaluate his play and the time he got?
We've always been getting better and better. He's kind of in the same track and the same path that Nick Allen was on, really 2 years ago. But he's probably further ahead than that. I mean, he's more game ready. than Nick was 2 years ago at this time. And you know, we have a lot of faith in Bo. He runs the show. He understands what he's doing, and he's physical. And you know, I think the reps are going to do nothing but help him.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Ed.